Hey, Eurovision fam, it's Alesia Michelle. I'm so excited. I'm not alone today. I've got Ellie with me. Can you introduce yourself, even though most folks probably already know who you are?
Hi, I'm Ellie Chalkley. I'm Ellie_made on Twitter, and I am part of the ESC Insight team. And you may recognize me from such things that we did last year as Eurovision again.
Oh, yeah, just that little thing that was happening on the internet last year, essentially giving us all life.
I mainly did spreadsheets.
Well, thank you so much for joining me. And today is going to be an exciting stream because we're literally going to, in alphabetical order, from A to Z, even though there are no Z's, talk about all of the Eurovision entries this year. I'm really excited because, sometimes when we have these lives, we're just jamming, we're talking so much. And then it's like, oh, wait, we totally forgot to talk about this. We totally forgot to talk about this one. And I was like, let's try and do something like that we can focus and give our thoughts on as many songs as possible. And I will also say Ash from the Mamas might be popping in to say hello. I'm so excited to talk to her and get her thoughts on the Eurovision acts. Because she could have been on the stage at Eurovision. It was totally possible.
And she already has been.
Exactly. So really kind of curious to see what her favorites might be. But without further ado, we got to kick off and start at the top. And it's Albania. How are you feeling about Albania's song this year, Karma?
They've sent an Albanian song.
I feel like it's interesting because I actually think the running order, the way that they've put those songs together in semifinal 2, I actually think Albania probably is the one who will have the biggest advantage. I think all those other songs around it, it's not necessarily helping them, but I do think that Angela will be served by that running order position. So yeah, so we just talked about Albania. Let's move along to Australia. How are you feeling about Australia?
I really like it. I wonder if maybe it is a couple of years ahead of where the contest is.
That's an interesting point because I think there are some people where this doesn't feel as accessible as, Don't Break Me was. Don't Break Me was pretty instant. I love Technicolor. I'm loving it. I really, really want to see it advance. And I know folks are a little bit nervous for Australia, but honestly, where I'm sitting, I'm into it. And actually, I was just interviewing Elena from Cyprus. And when I asked her which song she would want to steal, she picked Technicolor, which I actually could see. I was like, oh, I can actually kind of see that version of Technicolor. That would be really, really cool. But I'm liking it. I'm actually, I shouldn't say I'm liking it. I'm loving it. Moving along to Austria, Vincent Bueno. Amen. How are you feeling about it?
They are back on their radio-friendly, this is a slab of quality thing, but without being at risk of accidentally winning the jury vote.
I got a little bit nervous about it when I first heard it because, and we didn't have all the songs. We had enough. And I always get nervous about Austria. And maybe I shouldn't say nervous about them, but I always kind of assume more often than not that they will qualify. And lately, I should say lately, and even in 2019, I didn't necessarily want it to qualify. But I was kind of like, it's a good song. I wouldn't be surprised if it did qualify. And so now with this one, I don't think it will. I think the running order is not doing it any favors. And I'm not loving what Austria is serving, but it's not a bad song. It is something about it that, yeah, it is radio friendly. It is quality.
It's one of the ones where it will be hurt by the overall very high quality this year.
Exactly. I completely agree with that. And moving along, Effendi, we're going to talk about Azerbaijan, Matahari. How are you feeling about this track?
This song is much less exciting when it isn't connected with illicit sharing of demos and secrecy and fun and hijinks.
Yeah, I think I preferred Cleopatra, and I didn't really love Cleopatra. I think it'll be a moment on the stage. Azerbaijan knows how to pull out all the tricks. So I think visually on the stage, it'll be interesting. But I don't know if I feel as confident about it fully qualifying as of now. Like, as of now, I'm a little bit like, okay, Azerbaijan, like maybe it'll happen. But if it doesn't, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, one of those semi-one female up-tempos has to go.
Yeah, yeah. And really, Matahari might be the one. And moving along to another semifinal, one song, it's Belgium. I will just say, like, and get it out of the way. I love this song. It's one of my favorite songs this year.
That's cool. It would have been right back when I was on my full indie chick business back in the day stuff, when I was still going, oh no, we don't like the cheesy pops. It would have been one of my faves then. But I know that the locals and the casual fans won't have this problem, but I can't separate them from all of the interpersonal unpleasantness over the past year.
Yeah, and it's so funny you mentioned that too, because I even went back and looked at some of the stuff that Gaika has like said about her time being in the band. And I can't help but think, like, has it changed at all? Because I don't get the vibe that it has. But I will say I am loving this song. And there is something about it that feels very adult and mature. And I appreciate that. And kind of moving on, talking about adult and mature, we're going to Bulgaria. And I just want to reset the room. If you are just joining, welcome. Thank you for joining. We are literally going to be talking about every single Eurovision 2021 entry in alphabetical order. And we really have just started. And now we're going to be talking about Bulgaria. What are your thoughts?
It's not my kind of thing, but that's because something's happened to me over the past year where I can't listen to sad songs anymore. Like I just can't do it. I can't connect.
Yeah, I do love the song. Every time I hate to say, like, force myself to listen to it, because I'm like, okay, I'm talking about Eurovision. I want to make sure all the songs are fresh in my mind. And every time I hop into listening to Belgium song, I am in like a space right now where I'm like, I want to have my vision of being at the club. Like, my mindset is just like club, fun music, and not even necessarily just like a bop, but I think I need a little bit more lift and some levity.
Yeah, I mean, I've already been to the beach today. I'm here with a 0 alcohol cocktail. That's the mood.
I mean, yeah, I think that's just what I'm feeling. So although I do like the song, although I do think the song is quality, although I do want to see it advance, I think right now my headspace is kind of like not on repeat. I don't need it on my repeat. But I will just say, we have someone coming into the room, and I will be bringing them up to the stage. I hope you're ready to introduce yourself, but really you don't need any introduction. It is Ash Haynes from Bahamas.
Hey y'all, how y'all doing?
Good. I am feeling good. I woke up at the crack of dawn today. I am fully awake, fully ready, and just happy to hop into this. How are you feeling? You're still in Sweden, right?
I am. I'm gonna come home May 31st, but I'm here.
Woo-hoo!
Here. Yeah.
All right. So we already went through, and you missed out on some of the first songs, but that's okay. You're gonna hop in now when it matters. Yeah. And we're going to be sharing our thoughts on every single Eurovision 2021 song. And we finished talking about Bulgaria, and now we're moving on to Croatia. How are y'all feeling about TikTok?
It's dope. I wrote down notes because there are too many. Okay. But I wrote down, it's really dope once the hook drops, once the hook comes in. I'm hoping that it hits on the Eurovision stage. It's a bop and it's a dance blend. I love the flirt of incorporating her native language. That's super dope. Yeah, I like it. I think it's cool.
It was so good when she performed it at Dora, the selection show, and she's just clearly a proper pro, and she's just going to be great at Eurovision.
Yeah.
I think I originally had said that I was like, I don't know if I need this to advance, but I kind of changed my opinion because the hook is so good. It's one of the best hooks we have this year. I mean, really. And then, the Croatian verse, and she is going to serve it on the stage. I feel like it's a tough semi. And I am nervous for everybody in semifinal one, point blank. So I do feel like everyone's performance is going to have to be flawless. And moving on to another semi one competitor, it's Cyprus. El Diablo. How are y'all feeling about Cyprus?
Woo! Yes. Sis. That's what I wrote in my notes. No, but she's memorable. I really, really, really like her. I think it's super dope. The breaks with the talk singing type of feel. I love that. That's fire. It's a really good song. Super powerful. And I think it could do good with the people. Yeah.
I mean, clearly it's a mashup of your 3 favorite Gaga songs.
Yeah.
But what's wrong with that? We've now had a couple of sort of acoustic, sort of semi-acoustic performances from her, and I feel like there's a lot of vocal processing and a lot of weird singing techniques going on that I was worried about her reproducing on stage, but now she's going to do it.
Yeah, I'm loving Cyprus. I would also say that Elena is absolutely lovely. She's like one of those girls that's like pretty in real life, and you're just like, why are you so pretty in real life? Still being chill. And moving on to my Eurovision 2021 boyfriend, and also my Eurovision 2021 boyfriend, Benny Cristo. Oh my God, Czech Republic. How are y'all feeling about the track?
You want to go? I got.
Go on.
I put here that I feel like it is a little bit different for Eurovision. However, I'm sure this guy has a huge fan base. I don't know, something about him reminds me of Chance the Rapper. I think it's like the fun part of him that reminds me of Chance the Rapper, but he's so hot and there's really something special about him.
I think he reminded me of Travis McCoy. Past Heroes.
Yes. I get that. Yes.
I mean, at Eurovision, you can kind of get quite far on just being quite hot and charismatic. But luckily, Benny also has quite a Sound of the Summer song as well.
No, I definitely expect to see this in the final. I really do. I think he's going to bring it to life on stage, and he is so charismatic. I think his charisma is truly palpable. And moving on to a little bit of a different entry, but low-key to me, this is like the 80s throwback song, because I feel like I could have heard this at Eurovision 1987. It's Denmark's entry. How are you feeling about it?
Nay. It's not for me. I mean, for me, it's forgettable. But it's forgettable in this competition, with all these other performers. It's a good song, but I don't know. It doesn't do it for me. I'm not with it.
Yeah, Ellie, how are you feeling about it? What do you think?
I am imagining if I went to maybe a wedding in Denmark about 10:30, they would play this song, and all of the Danes would go absolutely crazy because it was #1 there in 1987 for 6 weeks. And I'm just like, cool. I don't have the same cultural background as you, but I'm glad you're enjoying it. And somehow it's been sort of frozen in amber and released in 2021. Crazy.
Yeah, this is definitely a full throwback feel. I don't need it in the final. I don't expect it to see. I don't expect to see it in the final, but I do think it's fun. And I think in the semifinal, I will be happy to see it on the stage. That's kind of how I'm feeling about Denmark. And moving on, Estonia, which isn't Estonia in the death slot in semifinal 2. It's coming at second. Let's just put it this way. Uku is really, really good looking. I do like his voice.
He's cute. He's really, really cute. I think that the song is a bit lackluster for this competition, but he's hot.
He's so good looking. He is very good looking.
Estonia have done that before. A very mediocre song with a very good looking man. But he was sort of going for like a chilly 80s synth ballad thing. And it like the 80s fader isn't turned up enough. And it should have been more like Ultravox's Vienna. Imagine him singing that.
I hear what you're saying with that, because there is something about it that does feel familiar, not in like a copycat way. Like I do feel like I've heard the song, and I've told people before. Honestly, when it comes on in the larger playlist, I don't immediately run to skip it.
I also don't immediately know which one it is.
And on that note, let's move on to Finland, Blind Channel, the song that really should be closing out semifinal 2, but it's not. Well, how are y'all feeling about Finland?
I think it's great. I think it's cranky. Like, put your middle fingers up, take a shot. Like, I really want to hear that more than what they do. Like, it only comes up once in the hook. I'm like, that needs to be the whole hook. But like, I really like it. I hope they do well. I mean, I don't know about the jury, but I think the people are gonna love it.
Yeah, and it's
gonna do well.
Mm-hmm.
It's also been a huge domestic hit, and I just feel like however it actually does in the contest, a national selection show producing a domestic #1 is just really important for making sure that Finland sends its best artists in years to come.
No, I completely agree. I actually think Finland's going to do quite well. I think they actually might do better than what we even think that they could do, because I was even looking at just semifinal 2. And I mean, arguably, they could come in the top 3 of that televote and end up doing pretty well. And I couldn't see juries blanking on it, because there is such a strong hook and melody with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how it does. And moving on, let's talk about France, which is low-key having a resurgence in the betting odds a little bit. And I think with this OGAE voting is doing quite well. Yeah, how are y'all feeling about France?
It's so pretty. Like, it's definitely representing for France. I don't know. I really enjoy her voice. Before I even knew what she was talking about, I tried to like play a game with myself and guess what she was talking about. And I thought it was a song about not knowing yourself and finding out who you are. And then after I researched it, I was about right. This is me. This is who I am. Take me for who I am. And I love that message. And I think that's really good for Europe. Like, why not?
She's got so much range as well, from her like deeply personal confessional singer-songwriter stuff to the amazing kids songs that she's done for Junior Eurovision. And then to be able to interpret all of that herself on stage and be able to make you understand from her performance what the song is about without you being able to necessarily understand a lot of French. Great.
I am loving France this year. Loving it. I don't know. It's something about it that holds me back from thinking it's winning. I don't know why. There's just something that I'm like, I love it. I think it's going to do really, really well. Like top 5, definitely top 10, I think without question. But I don't know if it's like gonna win. And I don't know if that's just because we have such a competitive year. And moving on, we have Georgia with You, which reminds me of Star Shining Bright Above You. Like when I listen to it, that's what it reminds me of.
Yeah. He's cute. I think he's cute. It doesn't seem like he knows he's cute though. So that's kind of cool. I think the song is good, but I think that the BPM is a little bit too slow to win Eurovision. Cool representation for Georgia. I am mad. It's a nice song. It's cool.
He's such a weird artist, though, because the fact that he's got that in his repertoire, as well as like the quite heavy stuff from last year, and the really he was in the Georgian national selection before with like a real techno song. And yesterday I was listening to an hour of like glitch techno, like just sort of low-key electronica that he'd just put out. Like, who is this guy and what is he doing?
He is really pulling something out of the hat. I don't think we will be seeing this advance, but it's not of quality. This year is a really interesting year. I would have preferred him serving something like he was going to serve last year, because last year I saw a path for Georgia to qualify. Honestly, this year I'm not seeing that path as clearly. And moving on to one of our direct qualifiers, it's Germany with I Don't Feel Hate. What do y'all think about the song?
It's so much fun. I love it. It's super fun in the sound and in the message. The break with him just like, sorry, I really love that. I think it's the accent that makes it even better.
Yeah.
It reminds me of something like from Greece, or like some musical or something. Like, something really cute. I totally like this for Germany. This is cute. I like it.
I'm so happy for them because they've found an artist in musical theatre trained Jendrik and his friends who is going to commit to just producing something that's on the edge of chaos, but totally controlled on stage. And I keep sort of going, no, this is going to have a lot of televote. Like, people are going to vote for this.
Yeah.
And I can't quite gauge how much people are going to vote for it.
Yeah, I think that I'm not expecting to see Germany with 0 points. I'll say that. I don't think that they're going to be like, what is it, like the lowest amount of points of the big five. I don't think that that's going to be them at all. I think that there's something, I think that there's something catchy about this song. I do think it has sort of that sugary sweet element that we've seen work well on the Eurovision stage, because it is just like positive. And moving on to I would say my biggest grower of Eurovision 2021, and it's Greece. Stefania, The Last Dance. How are y'all feeling about it?
For me, it's a nice love song. She has an amazing, amazing gift, amazing voice. And I really love the hook. Pretty catchy. But amongst everyone else, it's a little bit forgettable for me. That's my personal opinion. Don't shoot me.
It's really nice, but like I was tracking all of the 80s influenced songs throughout all the national finals, and I don't think that Last Dance is as catchy as one of the ones that didn't actually make it to the contest, the song Hero from Norway.
Right.
And like Stefania is such a good performer, and they're clearly going to really bring the full production to the stage, but I just don't know if there's enough songwriting there.
I am loving this song, y'all. And I'm telling you, it is my biggest grower, because when I first heard it, I was like, this is nice. This is clean. I like this introduction for her, or I should say reintroduction for her as a performer, I think just beyond Eurovision. And I mean, and then as time went on, I started like listening to it more. And now it's on my Eurovision 2021 faves playlist, right at the top, so that I can always listen to it when I hop in the car. So yes, I think Greece is going to be advancing and moving along to basically our front runners last year. Iceland, Dottie, 10 years. How are y'all feeling about the track?
Oh, I hope he wins, y'all. Like, no, because it's I really like the song. I like him. He's such a musician in this. Like, he's a good writer. The instrumentation and the vocal acrobats are super appreciated. I just hope that the jury and the people realize what a genius they have in him. So authentic is what I wrote down. I love this song. Having all these musical elements is really, really a treat for other musicians, other people that are, in music. And then having the choir at the end, that was really, really good. He's a real musician, and even the Napoleon Dynamite dance moves he has, I like it. So he's sold. I love him. I hope he wins.
Oh, I'm in that choir. He's come back. So last year he was he got to the top as sort of the unknown underdog to all of the people at home. But this year he's coming back as an actual pop star, one of the big names in the contest. And I think the song, it does represent a stylistic progression, and there's a little bit more to each of the elements. Mm-hmm. But I can't help wondering if what made Think About Things take off with people was the fact that quite a lot of the elements of Think About Things were sort of simple, and everything in 10 years is just a little bit more. Like, from the dance moves, there's a few more of them, to just the notes in the melody, there's just a little bit more.
That's a really interesting thing, I think, to pick out. I think the thing that I love so much about Iceland's song is it's not a song about first love or infatuation, or we're new in the relationship. It really is about something a little bit longer lasting. And I don't think we hear enough of that narrative in music. And I'm loving it. All right, moving along to Leslie Roy, Ireland. The song is Maps. How are y'all feeling?
Great voice. Reminds me of a Taylor Swift song. I just don't know which one. All of them, maybe. I really, really love her voice. That's what I have.
She is such a good representative. I really hope that Maps can get through to the final, just because it's a proper breath of fresh air. Even if you're not running across the beautiful mountains in Ireland, it's still a breath of fresh air. It brings that to you wherever you are.
I'm loving Ireland. I want to see it advance, deeply want to see it advance. I think that Leslie is great. I love the fact that this song sounds like an Irish entry without having to bust out all the traditional instruments. It still feels very rooted in the country, and I am loving it. Moving along to Israel, it's Eden, Set Me Free. How are y'all feeling about it?
Yes, this voice, this song. I have here, it's a pop song with a little bit of funk, R&B. I really love it. Hoping that they bring that fire on the stage. I'm really hoping that the stage performance matches the song. It's a well-written song, and I love the confidence. So, yeah.
She is such a star. And now that we know that, there are just some casual whistle tones in there as well that we can just have. I feel like they could have pushed it a bit more. They could have given her something a little bit more stylistically out there, like some of her national selection songs last year were. But yeah, this is fine.
Yeah, I expect to see Israel actually advancing at this point. I was very nervous for them before the revamp. This is definitely one of the best revamps I've ever heard. And I'm not just saying that because they took out all the things that I wanted them to take out from the original. So moving along, it's Italy. Okay, I think that the fandom has maybe gone a little bit quiet on Italy. And I am actually expecting, after rehearsals, for Italy to surge again when people are reminded of just them, their energy. Once we kind of get some interviews with them as well, I just feel like people have kind of gone quiet on it, but that heat and fire is coming back. How are y'all feeling about Italy's song?
Just a disclaimer. I want people to know that I listened to these songs maybe day before yesterday. So I'm going off of one listen to each song. I mean, some of them I've heard multiple times. But anyway, this one, Italy, cool. Love the guitar line, but I don't think it's a winner for Eurovision. That's my opinion.
It's one of those ones where Italy always stands a chance of doing really well, but I think that what this could actually do is launch the band continent wide, which they're clearly ready to. They are really cool kids having a great time who are all beautiful and head to toe designer gear, looking gorgeous, like they're having the most fun in the world. And we need them to start giving us a little content.
Yeah, I think once we get into, I think the Netherlands, I think that there's going to be a slight shift. And I feel like the shift is going to be upwards for them. All right, moving along to Latvia, Samantha Tina, kind of serving us, I feel, whereas some people you could say was like an upgrade or a downgrade, I feel like she's sort of serving us the same energy as last year. I feel like those songs are definitely on the same album. Yeah, how are y'all feeling about the track, The Moon is Rising?
Sing, sis. I like her voice. In the pre-chorus, I really love her voice. It kind of doesn't match the song though. Like her voice is really different for this kind of song, but it's fire. I like it. I think this is one of those songs that has to have spectacular staging to do well. The message is dope. Love that they went the confidence route because it's universal. I mean, everybody can connect to that. So, yeah.
Have you listened to just the karaoke track? There is almost nothing on the karaoke backing for that song. It is all her voice. There's a little beat, a couple of guitar stabs. It's just all Samantha.
Wow. No, I haven't. I need to.
Yeah. Latvia, I'm not going to lie. I don't feel like they're advancing this year. I felt like last year I saw a path for them to go to the final. This year, semi-tube, not so much Latvia's fault, but just the competition on either side. It's just this year everybody decided to step it up a little. Well, not everybody, but a lot of folks decided to step it up this year. All right, let's move on to Lithuania, the Roop Discotheque. How are y'all feeling about it?
I think you have to have one of these in Eurovision. You have to have this kind of song there. It's fun and it's funny. I like it.
I like it more than I liked On Fire, but I do feel like it's got the same structural thing that I had with On Fire that might be a problem, where there's sort of no new material after 2 minutes in. But on stage, that probably won't be as much of a problem as in audio because they are doing all the crazy business in the yellow suits that's always changing. I think it's much more of a performance.
Yeah, this is definitely a performance track. I like that this is kicking off the show because it's essentially telling us, all right, for the rest of this time, it is okay to dance alone. Let's move on to my girl, Destiny, Malta coming through. How y'all feeling about the track?
Confidence. That's what we need. She is so lovable. This girl, she can sing. And the way that she went off at the end, my whole life. She gave me life. I really, really love her. I think she's going to do really, really good. She's doing good on social media. So I'm really, really loving her. I hope the jury sees this woman and how she can be such a representation for all of Europe, for real. Something new, something amazing. Yeah.
I am sort of interested in how the promo campaign is going because she's clearly got a really fun poppy song that will be grabby when people first hear it on the night. But for us, she's teasing us slowly with the symphonic version, and then there was the version with the cool flamenco guitar that was broadcast in the Spain party last night, and the vocals are just stop it, ridiculous.
Yeah. Insane.
I expect to see Malta actually winning the jury this year. I'm sorry. I'm just going to
I hope
throw
so.
it out there. I'm expecting it to win the jury. Thus, it just has to come top 3 with the televote, which I think it will. And, you know, if we're doing simple math, it could win. So moving along to Moldova. How are y'all feeling about Sugar? I already did my TikTok dance to this song. I'm just saying. So, yeah.
I put that I like this song. I am in love with vocals, so it's a bit empty vocally and lyrically, but it's cool. And she gives me Britney Spears vibes. So yeah.
I sort of, it's one that would really come to life over the 2 weeks of the contest in Euro Club for me. Like I would go into the 2 weeks being like, it's a song, and then by you know, the night after the second semi-final, I'd be going, well, this is my favorite. But I'm not going to Euro Club this year, so it's not got a chance to grow on me.
Yeah, I think I'm loving it mostly for the choreo. It just, to me, it's like Kylie Minogue vibes, and I feel like that's even kind of how they're styling her and whatnot. And I'm into it. And ultimately, I think Moldova does know how to stage. They always kind of figure out like a hook, and I kind of expect to see this advancing, but we'll see. Moving on to North Macedonia, Basil. Here I stand. This is our theatrical piece for Eurovision.
His voice is beautiful. The song is beautiful. Very Disney theater to me. I love the instrumentation. I don't know if it's a winning song, but it definitely pulls on your heartstrings. Like, it really got to me here. And I felt chills when I was listening to it.
Yeah, it's really nice quality piece of work, and it's sort of getting over a message that has been in Vassal's heart since the start of the pandemic as well. And like, if he's happy with it, then that's cool. Even though like he does have a sort of up-tempo side to his work that maybe that would have been better at Eurovision, but he's brought this.
I mean, I think we always kind of have to have one, really, at least one kind of musical theater song. Might not advance, but it's definitely going to be in the competition, I feel.
Do you know what I would have wanted in it? Just a little bit of Brian May style Queen guitars at the end. Just a little bit of topping.
Oh yeah, that would have been. We could still do it, right? They could still maybe play with it. Yeah. All right, let's move on to Norway. Tix, Fallen Angel.
I have Backstreet Boys vibes.
You can't do this at Eurovision.
Wait. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, so like the eye contact that we're making through the camera now is greatly reduced. Exactly. And this is a problem.
Yeah. I think it's very monotone. It's like one notch the whole way through. I mean, I can appreciate the little build up with the modulation, but it's still one note for me. I don't know.
It's not so much. So it really reminds me of the kind of songs that we would have in UK boy bands in the 90s. It really reminds me of that. And I think that's why I can't get on with the song. Although, Nightcore songs where they speed songs up and like make them a little bit higher and things. The Nightcore of Fallen Angel, it really makes sense to me. Just like kicking the speed up a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, the locals are really loving this. And, ultimately, I'm wondering if the locals outside of Norway are going to love it enough to let it advance. My issue with it is I think it has absolutely no business being in the final. I'm just going to say it, especially in semifinal 1, because I know that we're going to lose a good song. And like, we already know, like, we know we're going to lose like a couple of good songs. And so I prefer not to see this one advance, so that maybe we could lose one less, like, really good. And I guess by good, I mean like risky. A song that really is kind of pushing the envelope a little bit.
I'm prepared for it to qualify,
Yeah.
mainly because the staging will look really, oh, that's so Eurovision, especially to like people who the last Eurovision thing they watched was the Fire Saga film. Like it looks like that.
Yeah.
Heartbreaking. Okay, another man in shades. We've got Poland, The Ride.
The song is cool. Production is cool. A bit old school, like the 80s vibe. But kind of forgettable amongst the rest of the people. Yeah.
Am I imagining that Stefania and Rafał did actually get offered each other's songs at one point? I think I might be imagining that. I don't know, because neither of them are like homegrown songs that they wrote themselves. I think they're both imported.
Correct.
But I can imagine him singing Last Dance more than I just don't like the whole hold on for the ride of your life thing. It makes me go No.
Yeah, I don't expect to see Poland advance, but there is something about the song sonically that feels polished. It feels, like somewhat expensive. It doesn't feel super cheap to me. So I think it'll be fine on the stage, but I don't expect to see it advance. And now moving on to Portugal, the Black Mamba, Love Is On My Side, which I figured out a thing about this song that I think would make me like it more. I wish it was actually sung by a woman, because it's the story. It's a female story. And I kind of am like, I wonder if it was like some smoky, young female kind of singing this song,
As
what
a
life it would take on. Yeah, like what life it would take on. What do you think?
I also hope that the woman that they're singing about is okay with them sort of casting her story like this.
I mean,
it might just be like kind of the proverbial like woman of the night story, young girl.
They keep on saying it's about like a really specific woman that they met.
Yeah, that is true. They are saying that.
Well, if she not fine with it, she better get fine with it, because they gonna have to. I said I love his voice. I don't know if Europe is gonna get it though. He has a kind of different sound, so I don't know.
Yeah, I'm loving the vocal tone. It reminds me, some of the production does remind me a little bit of like early Prince, and I can appreciate that. But yeah, again, I am wondering what life it would take on if it was a woman singing it. I'd be curious about that. All right, moving on to one of our female performers, one of our cool girl pop stars at Eurovision 2021. It's Roxanne, Romania, Amnesia. And I just want to hop in and say, because when I first heard the song, I was like, there's something about this that sounds familiar to me, and it hit me. It sounds like some of those tracks that Loreen was coming out with, like I'm In It With You, like even kind of like some of the stuff that was on the last album. That's where I think the familiarity, I don't mean that in a negative way, but like some of the production is like similar to stuff that Loreen has done. Yeah, I love the song. How are y'all feeling about it?
She gave me Billie Eilish vibes for some reason. I don't know if it's just because I listened to it maybe twice, but yeah. And I love the voice. Good song. It's a really good song. I like the song. I would listen to this song. So I hope it does well. I don't know though.
Yeah, she's got a really lovely voice, and I think that's been sort of overlooked in sort of the story coming through from last year, which is directly pitting her against Victoria, when it's clear that their artistic paths are diverging. And I think I'm a little bit more interested in what Roxanne is doing. It's very cool.
Yeah, I really like the track. I will say I've begun to get nervous for it, which isn't necessarily like a bad thing. I've begun to get a little bit nervous for its chances of making it in the final, But also I feel like in semifinal one, to me, this is like the ballad. Like I do feel that it stands out. There's nothing really like it. So I'm curious to see what happens. And moving along to Russia. Russian woman, how are y'all feeling about the track?
Nah, it's not for me. It's cool and dope for Russia, I'm sure. I don't know if she'll go to the finals, but I could be wrong. But it's not for me.
And I think the fact that it is so potentially divisive and there is so much going on and it is such a lot is what makes me really like it. And especially in comparison with like the history of Russian Eurovision entries, it doesn't feel like it's come out the pop factory.
Right.
It's very much like Manesia's artistic statement, and it's a little bit messy and a little bit edgy and sort of exciting.
Yeah, I like that it's out of the box. I like the risk that they're taking. It could go either way, I think, with the juries or the televote. I wouldn't want to bet on it, but I'm loving it more than I'm not. But I also have a tendency to like the riskier, more out of the box entries. Historically speaking.
Yeah, I just love to see a country that doesn't normally take an artistic risk taking a huge artistic risk.
Absolutely. Moving along to San Marino, Adrenalina. How are y'all feeling about the track?
I like it. I think she's so beautiful. I hope it does well. I think it's cool that Flo Rida's in the video, and is he gonna be performing with her?
I think so.
I think so, yeah.
I think that's the
That's
plan.
really dope.
Yeah.
I think it's dope. I don't know if that's gonna help them win, but I think that's a bop. Like it's a good song. Yeah.
For a country the size of San Marino, top 10 is winning.
Oh yeah, no, completely. I think that this has the chance to win the televote. I really do. And honestly, as someone who's been an advocate for like hip hop on the Eurovision stage, this is probably like the best bars in English that have been spit on the Eurovision stage. Point blank. Yeah, like honestly. So for that alone, I'm happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really want it to cross over, and I want to hear it out of car windows all summer.
It could happen. Adrenaline. Okay. Moving on to Hurricane. Serbia. How are y'all feeling about their entry this year? Loca Loca.
I love the hook. I'm so in love with the hook. It's a cool song. I don't know if it's a winner, but it's really, really cool. I love it.
Yeah, it's almost on the edge of falling apart. There's so much stuffed into it, but the zum that is so good, and that's really sticky as well. Really sticky.
Yeah, this is another grower for me, but I preface that the first version I had to listen to it was like this awful version that was like on Apple Music where it was just like, it sounded like it was coming out of like a cassette tape. It wasn't like in full stereo. So I was like, oh, I cannot listen to this. Well, I finally got the full stereo version. To me, it's meeting the moment that I am seeking and having this May, this summer. It's just really meeting my mood. But moving on to Slovenia, our other amen. How are y'all feeling about the track?
Very rich voice. I like the song. Kind of too slow to be a winner, but I really love her voice. Like it's really, 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 really good.
She also seems to just be like a really interesting person as well, like sort of cuddling goats on her Instagram and talking about smoking cigars in her Eurovision.tv profile. And that voice is so incredible. And I think it could have been better served with, in fact, it was better served last year with Voda.
Yeah, I think I prefer Voda to this one. It's something about it where it's like, it's almost so inoffensive in its delivery, where it's like, I like the thick, rich vocal. I think she's not going to hit any bum notes on stage. We know that. But ultimately, it's like, is this really the right vehicle for her as a performer to make a dent? And I think it'll be good, well sung on stage, but I don't expect to see it advance. Let's move on to one of our direct qualifiers. We've got Spain, Blas Canto.
He's so good looking.
He's so good looking.
Good looking. I like his good looking face, but I mean, he's cute enough to go to the finals, but I think he has a really beautiful gift. His voice is amazing. But the song, I don't know.
I can't make it stick in my ears. I can never remember how it goes, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
Yeah, Spain. So when I said earlier, I don't think it'll be like talking about where the big five will finish. Unfortunately, I do feel this is just not the song. I don't know. It's like, this is just not the song. And his voice is so good. The things that he can do with his voice. I mean, he is actually he is a vocalist. And I just think the potential of what could have happened with that vocal, and just his star power. But let's move on. It's Sweden to say voices.
I love that kid. I really love him. I mean, not just the song is great, but it's just him as a person on and off stage, on and in the competition, out of the competition. He just has he has great charisma, and his message is just dope. I don't know if all Eurovision fans will receive that, or will hear that, or get to know him, but the song is good, and I don't know how it's gonna do in Eurovision. I think people are gonna like it. The jury's gonna like it, but I don't know. I really love that song for the masses. Like, it's a song for the people.
Well, I will say there were some people who were asking if y'all could just go on and do the backing vocals for him, just so y'all can see Eurovision again. That's not possible. We can't work that out.
Yay. Nay, I wish. That would be so cool. We did sing with him in like a little snippet, which was I looked back at it. I was like, dang, we sound good.
That's what I'm saying. So, I mean, maybe we could work it out. Come on, Karen. Put it together, girl.
Let us pray.
He's so beautiful and full of like life and energy. And that song is one that I don't know whether it's good or bad about this thing about it, but it's one of those songs where you can just sort of instantly go, that is a Eurovision song. That is a Eurovision anthem. But I don't know whether the things that make you go, that's a Eurovision anthem, I don't know whether they work anymore. But if anybody can make them work, it's Tusa.
Yeah, such a charismatic performer. I'd be curious what he does next, because just so much of his energy and style, like, I'd really be curious if he sat down and really had a song crafted like for him, like what that could be like. Because I do think he's like, there's something about him that's really charismatic and interesting that I think we could get something with like a twist.
Come 7th this year, and then in like 2025 or something, come back and win the whole thing.
Yeah, like there's something there that, and honestly, maybe he hasn't even tapped into. He's so young. Maybe he hasn't even really tapped into what that is. But I think it'd be something, and maybe I'm just being, because I like the risky stuff, but I feel like there's something there that he could really do well. Like, I'm kind of like something maybe a little bit rockier, like maybe something a little bit like Lenny Kravitz, maybe like a play on Prince, like something just.
I think Go ahead. Sorry.
I would really like to see him sort of shift up through the gears, like going from quite a gentle vocal to really rocking out. That would be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to Switzerland.
Switzerland.
Ooh,
Oh, I can't say what I wrote here. It's too mean. It's cool when it builds up, but it's a no for me for Eurovision. I'm sorry. Don't kill me, guys. But I don't know. Just remember, I only listen to these songs like twice, maybe.
But see, that's a key thing. And I think the question about Switzerland last year, I loved Switzerland's song last year. But I remember doing one of my Zoom parties, and a lot of folks kind of reminded me, but for first listen people, is it immediate enough? And I do think that this one's more immediate than last year's track. But I don't know. I do wonder if, like, I always have the question of, is it accessible? And I think whereas with France, people kind of expect what France is serving. It feels so French, but I don't know if it's going to be immediate enough coming from Switzerland.
I guess it kind of depends on what Sacha Jean-Baptiste is putting together for the staging. But it's one of those ones where, like I said earlier, I can't be doing with the sad songs at the minute. And so I can tell that this is a really high quality, really heartfelt piece of songwriting and performing. But it's not connecting with the mood that I'm in.
I think that that's fair. And moving along, we've got our host country, the Netherlands, Birth of a New Age. How are y'all feeling about the track?
Oh, about the track. I put here, hey, brother, but he's my cousin. I love songs of empowerment, especially for Eurovision. It's really good representation. Even if they don't win or anything, I think that this is good for Eurovision people to experience. I'm proud of him. I just really love his voice, and I think he can do well. But that's only if the people get it, because some people may not get it. It's giving me Black is King vibes, Beyonce Black is King vibes. So yeah.
Yeah, it's really beautiful, and I'm glad that he's come back with something really uplifting this year and something really anthemic. And I wonder how it's going to work with the maybe tiny bit of a crowd who are all going to be from the Netherlands. So it's going to be an entirely home crowd, and that might be a little bit spine tingling.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see how it performs. Host countries, it's always, a little bit complicated, but I love that moment in the song where we kind of get out of the verses and then it's just the celebration of sound and culture. That's like my favorite moment of the song. Well, we've only got 2 entries left. Thank you so much to everyone who tuned in. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. I also want to thank these lovely ladies for joining me today. And I'm just so appreciative, and it's so nice to have these conversations, even though we can't be in the same room. But moving along, it's Ukraine. Go A. What do y'all think about the track? I'm so curious what y'all think.
I don't get it, but okay. I was listening and I was trying to get through the whole thing, but this is one of them that I had to turn off because I started to cringe. Yeah, but I don't want to be mean, but that's just my opinion.
It's definitely an acquired taste.
Is it the the vocal register she's singing in?
I think so. It was just like, okay, I gotta let this one go. I can't listen anymore.
They are very fun party animals though, and I think I would like to go to a go-away rave in the forest. And yeah.
It is. I mean, look,
I just want to go dancing.
it's an acquired taste, and I honestly, I have the taste for it. Like when I say I like out of the box stuff, this is literally my most listened to Eurovision 2021 track, legitimately. But I also would say I think that that is helped by the fact that it is like a great car song. And I legitimately envision myself like in Mad Max. You probably already know, like Ash, like when I'm on like 495, like weaving through the beltway, like around people. I'm like, yes, yes, yes. Yeah, I'm with it. And then our last song, it's the United Kingdom, James Newman, Embers. How are y'all feeling about the track?
Yes, I love his voice. I love the raspiness of his voice. I think it's a good, fun dance song. I call him my husky honey because he's cute. He for the husky.
He
husky
is.
Yeah.
He is.
Such a good bloke. Yeah, it's weird having something that you might actually hear on UK pop radio representing the UK at Eurovision. Like somebody put it over some footage from the UK's Love Island, and it worked. And that is like exactly where this song is in the UK like musical landscape, and that makes me feel like we're getting there.
Yeah.
And having a party too.
Yeah, I'm loving this track. I think, again, it just feels so in the moment. When I reacted to all the songs and the UK came up, like I legit didn't want it to stop. Like I was just like, out of the one of my, definitely on my ESC faves playlist. And yeah, all right, y'all, we made it. We talked about every single song from Eurovision 2021. What do y'all think? You know, obviously hop down and talk in these comments below. Thank you to the ladies. I have their bios in the description for this. You gotta follow both of the ladies, please. And just thank y'all for joining me. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you for having me.